The hour is getting late, not in time, but in existence. Across the globe, signs of exhaustion are showing in the veins of the earth, in the melting glaciers, burning forests, rising seas, and collapsing systems. Yet we continue forward, distracted and detached, clinging to a dangerous belief that the human species is eternal, that progress is infinite, that nature will always adjust to us. But what if this isn't true? What if we are already living in the last chapters of the human story and just haven't turned the page yet? Philosopher Mark C. Taylor doesn't offer comfort. He offers confrontation. In After the Human, Taylor delivers a philosophical wake-up call for a species hypnotized by its own illusions. He tells us, not as a prophet of doom, but as a patient observer of history and ecology, that the human-centric world we've built is teetering on the edge of disappearance. Not due to a single catastrophic event, but from a gradual unraveling, a collective refusal to change, to see, to feel. What makes Taylor's insights so piercing is that they don't rely on shock value or dystopian science fiction. Instead, they focus on the raw truth of where we stand right now. The Anthropocene, our self-made era of ecological impact, is not a phase. It's a countdown. Every plastic bag, every carbon emission, every species extinction, every cut forest, these aren't isolated acts. They're signatures on our own farewell letter. Taylor insists that our problem isn't just environmental, it's spiritual, it's philosophical. We've forgotten how to think about ourselves as part of the world. We believe in the superiority of humanity, in the linear march of technology, and in the illusion that data can outlive death. We've confused advancement with meaning, and in doing so, we've turned away from the very web of life that sustains us. We keep building and building technologies, economies, networks, but seldom pause to ask, what are we becoming? And more urgently, what are we leaving behind? The future we're crafting is one where humanity might no longer be necessary, even in the systems we designed. Machines learn faster, data stores longer, and AI doesn't get sick, doesn't burn fossil fuels, and doesn't age. In that silence, Taylor hears a haunting question echoing across time. If humans disappear, who or what remembers us? That haunting becomes more vivid when Taylor explores the idea that extinction isn't always explosive. It can be quiet. It can be cultural. The end of humanity may not come with fire and brimstone, but through slow fading. A withering of ethics, a crumbling of community, an erosion of values. We're already seeing it. The spread of misinformation, the addiction to digital validation, the rise of isolation in a hyper-connected world. These are not symptoms of growth. They are the signs of a species losing its way. Still, After the Human isn't just a funeral march. It's a challenge. It dares us to look past the ruins and ask, what comes next? Not just after us, but beyond us. Taylor opens the door to the post-human, not as robots taking over, but as a philosophical necessity. If we are to survive, even in transformed ways, we must evolve the very meaning of what it is to be human. This involves unlearning the core myth that has guided civilizations for centuries, that we are separate from nature. Instead, Taylor calls for a return to interdependence, to humility, to the ancient truth that life is not something we dominate, but something we're woven into. He urges us to replace the desire to control with the willingness to cooperate, with ecosystems, with one another, with the unknown. There's no denying the urgency. Climate catastrophe, pandemics, political unrest, and technological displacement are converging into a moment of reckoning. But perhaps that's the point. Taylor doesn't preach salvation, he speaks of transformation. He proposes that meaning must be reclaimed not through survival, but through surrendering the illusion of human centrality. This surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the narratives that have poisoned our relationship with the planet and ourselves. It means writing a new story, one where humans are not rulers but participants, where the goal isn't immortality through data, but dignity through connection, where value is found not in endless consumption, but in mindful presence. And here lies the most difficult question of all. What does it mean to live well, knowing that it may soon end? Taylor offers no easy answers, but in the silence between his words, there's an invitation to care deeply, to act wisely, to love fiercely, to make this moment matter, not because it leads to more, but because it may be all there is. As we scroll, consume, and accelerate, we must ask ourselves, are we preparing for a future or fleeing from the present? Will we be remembered for what we built or what we destroyed? And in the end, will we have lived long enough to understand what life was really about? Taylor's vision isn't meant to scare us into panic. It's meant to wake us into awareness. There's still time, but not for endless debates or delayed action. The time now is for reckoning, for radical honesty, for deep humility. After the human is not the end of the story, unless we choose to make it so. So the choice is ours. We can continue chasing illusions until the final collapse, or we can pause, reflect, and reimagine what it means to belong. To this earth, to this moment, to each other. Not above nature, but within it. Not against the future, but part of its recreation. Because in the end, extinction isn't just about death. It's about forgetting. Forgetting who we were meant to be. And remembering that perhaps the most human thing left to do is to let go of being human as we once knew it.